Hello everyone, this is my future scanning presentation for transportation, and my name is Jeff Leonard. I want to begin with the definition of transportation, which is the action of transporting someone or something, or the process of being transported. I'm going to talk about the origins of transportation. In 8000 BC, the first canoe was used. In 4000 BC, horses and camels were domesticated. In 3500 BC, fixed wheels were invented and riverboats were in use. And then in 2000 BC, the first chariots were built. The origins of the horse-drawn wagon. Little known fact, the horse and buggy we know today has a fascinating history dating all the way back to ancient Mesopotamia. The earliest form of a buggy was a chariot, which is thought to be the first wheeled transportation and was actually designed for use in battle. The origins of the locomotive. In February of 1804, British mining engineer, inventor, and explorer Richard Trevithick debuted the first full-scale working railway steam locomotive in the Welsh mining town of Merthyr Tydfil, which is in Wales. Following that debut, locomotives have been powered by a myriad of fuels including wood, coal, and even oil. The origins of airplanes. Wilbur and Orville Wright spent 4 years of research and development to create the first successful powered airplane, the 1903 Wright Flyer. It first flew at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina on December 17, 1903, with Orville at the controls. The origins of the automobile. Benz patent motor wagon, or patent motor car, built in 1885 by the German Carl Benz, is widely regarded as the world's first practical modern automobile and was the first car put into series production. It was patented and unveiled in 1886, just a year later. Carl Benz was awarded German patent number 37435 for a three-wheeled, self-propelled vehicle with a rear-mounted single-cylinder engine. In that instant, the world became smaller, and it set the course for our legacy of invention that continues to this day. Let's move to present day. Locomotives are now referred to as trains. Little known fact, the earliest modes of transportation that are recognized as railroads were built in European mines in the 16th century. They used cars pulled on tracks by men or horses. The tracks these ran on were called train roads or trainways by the turn of the 19th century. Earliest known evidence of the word train referring to linked mining cars doesn't appear until a bit later, and it wasn't until the construction of the first railway in 1825 that the word train, as we now most often use it, really started to become established. Automobiles are now called cars. Little known fact, an etymology of the word car derived from carus, carum meaning a wheeled vehicle. The word vehicle itself has origins in Latin. The Latin word vehiculum became a vehicle in English. In Latin, carus means a wagon, a four-wheeled baggage cart, cartload, or wagon load. Cars are now packed with features that we simply can't live without. Sunroofs, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi access, XM satellite radio, sunroofs. Cars are now packed with seat warmers, motorized seats, and even coolers. which feature in your car is a must-have? Now, with the transportation and the technology, there is some cons to everything that we have now. So some of the cons to modern day transportation is fossil fuels. The use of fossil fuels as it contributes to greenhouse gases. Fossil fuels are used to power and propel modern day automobiles and are a major contributor to greenhouse gases, unfortunately. Now, greenhouse gases, just for clarity, is a gas that contributes to the greenhouse effect by absorbing infrared radiation. An example, carbon dioxide and chlorofluorocarbons. As of second quarter of 2002, there are over 284 million cars on the road in the U.S. contributing to those greenhouse gases. This graphic here shows the percentage of transportation emissions, with passenger cars at 41%, heavy-duty trucks at 23%, light-duty trucks, or SUVs, I'm thinking, at 17%. Then you've got commercial aircraft at 7%. You have other transportation means at 5%, railway, ship, and boat at 2%, and then motorcycles and buses at simply 1%. So let's talk about the future. I'm really excited about this next group of slides because it talks about the Hyperloop. The Hyperloop is a ultra high-speed ground transportation system for passengers and cargo proposed as a concept by Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, in a white paper back in 2013. It consists of partially excavated tubes and passengers or cargo pods moving at very high speeds. The Hyperloops are essentially pod and tube-based transportation projects that minimize air resistance, and so they have the potential to enable people to travel long distances much quicker than they currently can. So if you can picture this, you step into a pod in Paris, settle down for a nap, and in just over an hour, you've been whizzed all the way to Berlin. Now that's over 1,000 kilometers in less time than it takes to fly between those two European cities. And if you're not the best at math like I am, 1,000 kilometers is 621 miles. Now that distance is travel in 1 hour. 621 miles in 1 hour. Alright, so now that I've set the stage, I want you to picture this here. This is the trains of the future, and this is, I present to you, the Hyperloop. If you look there in the front, you'll see a fan, and that fan pulls the air that will be in that vacuum tube, and it pretty much pushes the air around the entire pod, thus propelling it forward. And with them being minimum resistance, that pod can go record-breaking speeds. If you look at the cross section here, you'll see the fan up front, the sitting area for passengers, or if they're going to use it for cargo, that's where the cargo would be. Further details on this Hyperloop, as I said, I'm very excited about this one. The train can reach up to 740 miles an hour. And the original idea was that it could travel between, let's say, Los Angeles and San Francisco in 35 minutes. Now that's a distance of 380 miles, and even a plane takes over an hour for that 380 mile trip. The Hyperloop itself is a very, very long tube with a vacuum inside. The passengers would sit in there in the pods, and it would accommodate up to 6 people. Those pods would then be elevated from the ground with magnets and travel through the tube in small groups of pods that have the same similar destination. Now I know this is probably what you expected of the cars in the future, but we've passed that already. And this Mercedes here in front of you is a car that's in the distant future. It is a concept car. And it will have zero emissions. Another example, here's a car of the future that is autonomous. So pretty much you can sit in that car, do work, and it will drive itself to your destination. One of the concerns I had in our future scanning project was the tech and the safety features for some of the devices and so forth that we use every day going forward. I'm happy to say that I did some searching around, and some of the features on some of the cars and vehicles that are coming out would include animal detection. That will allow us to, it sounds simple, but it will allow us to avoid a lot of roadkills and animals darting out in front of your car, especially deer at night and early in the morning. Infrared headlights would help you with fog. Remote vehicle shutdown had a couple of different reasons and a couple of different places that I sourced. Even if someone is driving erratically, and even if someone hasn't paid their car note, the vehicle could shut down, unfortunately, in traffic. Augmented reality windshields is really one that I think is nice, because that will give you all your metrics and all your measurements and things like that actually in the windshield. So if you've ever played a video game and you see around the corners of the screen of the television, you see your life, and you see your battery and your energy, all of those metrics would be there. So if you can imagine having your radio, your fuel consumption, and your miles to go to where your destination is from your GPS, all of that would pretty much be on your windshield. So I really think that's really cool. The next thing, as far as the tech goes for the future vehicles, would include biometric vehicle access. This would work much like your phone. When you put your thumb to your phone and the barometric scan from your thumbprint gives you access to your phone, it would do the same thing for your car. Autonomous cars, which I showed in the previous slide, you pretty much can get an Uber, and it would not have a driver, but the car would drive itself based on a series of sensors and GPS locations. And even active health monitoring. So if someone was having cardiac arrest, the car could essentially help that person get to medical assistance. I want to ask now, what can we do now that we know about some of the things going on with the greenhouse gases, and we move forward and combine all the safety as well as the tech, as well as the knowledge of knowing what the fossil fuels do that don't help us. So as a community, what can we do to help us all? You can buy a fuel efficient, low emissions vehicles, drive slower and smarter, keep up with regular maintenance, give renewable fuels a try, check your tires regularly, use the right kind of oil, practice shifting gears, walk, bike, and take public transportation when available. That is the conclusion of my future scanning presentation for transportation. I do hope you enjoy, and I do welcome your feedback. Thank you so very much.